Noir is a very special genre for me personally. There's something really intriguing and interesting about this time period. The aesthetic feel of it. Every single part, nook and cranny about this time period. The way in which these stories are told, the cinematography, the characters. Everything about it is quite unique, groundbreaking, grounded. It's a dichotomy that's truly interesting. This time period truly is something special. If we consider this time period, it's possibly one of the worst periods ever in all of humanity, particularly considering the United States of America. Racism is at an all-time high. Depression, poverty, everything is working against the people, yet people were able to still thrive and survive, and as humans we were able to make it out. Despite all of those issues that cloud this time period, it's out of all of the time periods other than medieval times, it's probably the one that I'd want to just experience for myself personally. Even the racism, as a black person, even the racism is just something interesting that I'd like to experience for myself during this time period. And oh my goodness, the music, oh man, something truly special. So games that are able to transport me into this time period, into this genre, that are able to genuinely immerse me into this environment are something that I very much enjoy. So before I even hopped into Mafia Definitive Edition, I was absolutely certain that I was gonna probably enjoy this game at least to a decent degree. I've played Lanoire, which is genuinely one of my favorite games ever. While that's not a game that is well revered or known for its gameplay, it does something unique. It's probably one of the best detective games that you've absolutely ever will play. If you haven't played Lanoire before, please go ahead and play it. After watching this review, of course, but go ahead and get Lanoire. It's developed by Team Bondi under Rockstar at the time. A very interesting and fire game. It uses the same engine as other Rockstar games do, and it definitely is on the stiffer side, but it is definitely a memorable experience. Now, Mafia Definitive Edition is not the first Mafia game that I have played. I first started off and plunged into this world playing as Vito Scaletta in Mafia 2. A game that I absolutely had zero prior knowledge about until a friend gave the title to me as a gift, and I hopped into it on PC and had an absolutely great time in that game. It was, others would argue, GTA clone. Yeah, you definitely could say that, but there were things about it that made it particularly unique. The linear style of it, waking up every morning as Vito Scaletta. It was kind of like an hub world, open world game set in an older time period that I genuinely found extremely interesting. So for me personally, it was a smash hit, and the characters that were involved in that title were very interesting and fire. So when I heard about Mafia Definitive Edition finally being included in the oh so illustrious PS Plus, it was a no-brainer for me to go ahead and pick it up and delve deep into the adventures of Tommy Angelo. So this is going to be my patient gamer review of Mafia Definitive Edition. Now, I'm gonna go right off the bat and immediately inform you guys my thoughts on this game. Mafia Definitive Edition is still not as good as Mafia 2. Mafia 2 is without a doubt the pinnacle of the Mafia series from what we've seen so far. It is absolutely phenomenal, and it makes sense. This is, of course, just a remake. They weren't trying to remake the wheel or do something completely different. They were trying to redesign and make the Mafia 1 game into an experience that every single new generation is able to enjoy. There's something special about Mafia 2 that Mafia 1 unfortunately just doesn't have, and of course it's a sequel, so Mafia 1 would never have the capabilities to be able to do so. So if you're somebody who's played Mafia 2 and hoping that Mafia Definitive Edition is going to be on that level, no, it's not as good, but it still is a really, really good game. The remake is able to revitalize these characters and turn them into real people, authentic characters. The world looks absolutely beautiful. The character models are great. It definitely feels like an authentic world, and you are immersed into this Italian mob mafia game, and it's interesting, very, very interesting to see it all pan out. Now, in this game, you play, of course, as Tommy Angelo, as he tells you of his story in the mafia, working for Don Salieri, who is going against an enemy Don who grew up with him, who started out in the mob game alongside him. You go through all the journeys and throughout the many life-risking jobs that Don Salieri takes you on. You will definitely play the game, and you'll be able to discover a huge amount of things about Tommy, and it's interesting to watch his entire story unfold. Now, let's start off with the gameplay. The gameplay is solid. It's alright. It's definitely nothing crazy. It's a remake after all, and the point was just to revitalize the game into modern times. If we compare it to other shooters, you've definitely played other better third-person shooters than this one. Okay, let's compare it to Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 definitely still has probably better shooting mechanics than Mafia Definitive Edition. The gameplay definitely isn't what's going to keep you motivated and playing this game. Definitely a story-driven title. These characters, the issues that they face, the jobs, the crime, and all the things you have to do are going to be the things that keep you coming back to this title. For sure. And I won't lie to you, that's probably the way that most of these noir genre games are set up. You know, it's a much darker, grittier game set in this older time period, and the narrative in most of the cases is what's pushing the entire game along. The gameplay is honestly just a means to an end in most of these cases. It's mainly the decisions that you make throughout the way. Now, Mafia the Definitive Edition doesn't give you any choices. It definitely is more so of a roller coaster experience. You play as Tommy Angelo, and you don't have any meaningful, particularly decisions to make that are going to affect the ending of the story. Now, if we're talking about the narrative as a whole, it's definitely an interesting narrative. It's exciting. There are many plot twists and turns, and it's very cool as you play as Tommy Angelo, and with the multiple characters that you play with, Tony, Sam. You know, it's definitely a great experience, and you definitely have a whole lot of fun while playing throughout the entire experience. The world is beautiful, as I mentioned before. This remake, they do very, very well. Depending on the system you're playing with, that's going to depend on your performance. I played it over on the PlayStation 4, and I played it at a very smooth, crispy 1080p 30 FPS, very, very smooth experience, and I personally had no technical difficulties throughout the entire experience. And I'm pretty certain that no one else will also have any such issues. It's a very, very, very well done remake, and puts other remakes and definitive editions such as the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and Vice City and 3 remakes to absolute shame. Those are an absolute disgrace, bro. This is how you do a remake, my G. This is how you do a remake. A great time. Now, you're probably asking, so I've given you the info. The gameplay is alright, more so on the mid side. The story is definitely where it's at. The visuals are good, characters are interesting. Is this game worth my time? Now, if you're considering the game right now, when I got it, it was on PS Plus, but that deal is probably long gone now, so you probably no longer have that option. So your choice is either to pick this game up right now, or to make a smarter patience gamer decision would be to go ahead and pick it up on sale. Now, let's get right into the value section, where I'll give you all the information you need to be able to make an intelligent, patient gamer decision and get this, get this entire experience in a way that's not gonna hurt your pockets. Now, if you look over here on how long to beat, if you focus just mainly on the main story, you'll get 10.5 hours of playtime. If you go ahead and do a little bit of side content, do the things on the side, perhaps you're looking for some of the collectibles, because there really aren't any side quests in this game. That'll take you pretty much maybe 13 hours just trying to find everything, trying to find most of the stuff. And of course, if you're on those completionist vibes, a little bit of those crazies, you'll get 25 hours of playtime. But to be honest with you guys, 10 hours is pretty much the majority amount of gameplay you'll be getting. So if you've got a couple of days, you got a week, after work, you're looking for an interesting, fun, historical flick that's gonna get you chilling, Mafia Definitive Edition is definitely the game for you. It's a relaxed, cool fire tone that never gets too crazy or too deep. It's just a solid game that definitely does hit the spot. Now, brother, if you are over on PC, you are able to also get Mafia Definitive Edition for a pretty low price of $9.08. If you go ahead and hit one of the key shops, you're able to hit it for a pretty low price. Not gonna hurt the bank in any sense. And genuinely, gents, because it's only a 10-hour game, it's long enough but not crazy long compared to other titles. I definitely would highly recommend that you only pick it up on sale. Yeah, you'll be satisfied with the entire experience and you won't be hurting the bank in any way. Bank won't be hurt at all. If I were to give Mafia Definitive Edition a rating out of 10, definitely a 7 for sure. It's just a good game. You won't die if you miss this, bro. It's not gonna be like, oh man, you never played Mafia Definitive Edition, you never played Mafia. Nah, bro, it's cool, dude. It's a solid game. If you're looking for something just to pass the time, you're looking for something that's gonna scratch that historical or noir itch, this is the game for you. It's a solid title. You'll have an enjoyable time playing throughout the entire experience. So gents, those are my thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me your thoughts down there in the comments. Take it easy, gents.